My wife once told me, "I'm suing you for alimony. I deserve $10,000 a month for my emotional distress." I smiled. That's fair. By then, my lawyer already had a hard drive containing 300 hours of footage, proof that her distress had less to do with me and more to do with her personal trainer, Dylan. I'm Ethan, 39, a logistics manager. People call me Steady. I'm the guy who pays bills on time, remembers birthdays, and fixes the leaky faucet before anyone else notices. For years, my wife Lena said my steadiness grounded her. Apparently last year, grounding turned into boring. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and keep watching, because the best part's coming up next. 8 months ago, she found a new passion: wellness. Not yoga or smoothies, but the kind of lifestyle that comes with $500 a month in supplements, crystals on every flat surface, and daily affirmations about vibrations and energy alignment. I didn't complain. If it made her happy, fine. Then she met Dylan, her new holistic personal trainer. Dylan wasn't just a trainer. He was the kind of man who looked like a walking self-help ad. Perfect teeth, tribal tattoos, and a smile full of unsolicited wisdom. Suddenly, every conversation included his name. Dylan says my macros are off. That's why I'm irritable. Dylan thinks your energy is stagnant, Ethan. Dylan says I need to awaken my inner warrior. Apparently, I was now a stagnant, warriorless void. 3 months later, she moved into the guest room. "I just need space to align my chakras," she said. "Your snoring is blocking my spiritual growth." I swallowed the hurt. "Whatever you need." But something in the house shifted. It felt colder, emptier, like the walls were holding their breath. Then one day I came home early after we landed a big contract at work. The house was quiet, but it smelled different, sandalwood and pine. I recognized it instantly. Dylan's cologne. Lena came downstairs, hair tousled, tightening her silk robe. "Ethan, you're home early." "What's that smell?" I asked. "Oh, Jenna stopped by. Must have been her new perfume." Jenna smelled like vanilla and cigarettes, not sandalwood. That was the moment I knew. But instead of shouting, something in me went quiet. The steady Ethan disappeared, and the methodical logistics manager took his place. That weekend, while Lena was off at a warrior goddess retreat with Dylan, I upgraded our home security. 3 discrete high-definition cameras, legal in my state, went up in the house. One inside a hideous $1,200 metal sculpture she'd made me buy last year. One in the kitchen aimed at the island. One on the bookshelf near the stairs facing the front door. All set to record on motion. It took one day. Monday, 3 p.m. Lena gets home. 3:15. Dylan arrives. 3:17. They're not training. They're on my kitchen island. 3:45. On the couch. By 5 o'clock, he's gone. At 5:30, she greets me with a tired smile. "I'm exhausted," she sighs. "Dylan really pushed me today." I smiled and said, "That's rough, babe." That became our pattern. For 2 months, I quietly collected evidence. 300 hours of it. My marriage was dying, and I watched it happen in crystal clear resolution. Then one night, she sat me down, wearing her practiced, strong but sad expression. "Ethan, I can't live like this anymore. I'm suffocating. I've found my warrior, and she needs to be free. You want a divorce? I'm moving in with Jenna." I nodded. "I understand." She blinked, almost offended that I didn't argue. A week later, a letter from her lawyer arrived. Lena was claiming the marriage ended due to my emotional neglect and controlling behavior. She demanded $10,000 a month in alimony for her emotional recovery. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped the letter. Then I called my lawyer, David, a shark with a grin that could cut glass. David, I said, I've got a situation and a hard drive. The games begin. 3 weeks later, I was watching a baseball game when someone pounded on my front door. 2 police officers stood outside. Sir, are you Ethan? Yes, officers. What's this about? We received a call from a Miss Lena. She says you've locked her out of her home and are withholding her property. Lena was on the sidewalk, dabbing her eyes, Jenna rubbing her back in a show of solidarity. Officers, I said calmly, this is my house. I'm the only one on the mortgage. She moved out 3 weeks ago. She's lying, Lena cried. He's hiding my mother's jewelry. I pointed to my Ring camera. Would you like to see footage of her leaving? 6 trips to her car with suitcases, and that blue jewelry box she's talking about. The older cop sighed, looked at her and said, Ma'am, this is a civil matter. Don't call 911 again for this. Score 1 for the cameras. Next came the property retrieval. Her lawyer demanded she collect her remaining belongings. Fine. David arranged it, with a paralegal supervising. She showed up with Dylan. The audacity. He stood there, arms crossed, trying to look intimidating in his designer athleisure wear. Just get your stuff, Lena, I said flatly. She pointed to the metal sculpture, the one hiding my camera. I'm taking this, she said. It's the only thing of value you ever bought me. It represents my pain, Dylan nodded. She needs it for her healing space, bro. I nearly laughed. She was walking off with the evidence. You're right, I said. Take it. She hesitated, but greed won. Dylan carried it out like a trophy. I waved. Be careful, it's delicate. I'd never been happier to see $1,200 leave my house. The mediation. A week later, we faced each other across a table. Lena sat next to her lawyer, Mr. Finch, the kind of man who spoke in rehearsed sympathy. My client, Finch began, has endured tremendous emotional trauma. She's unable to work and needs temporary alimony of $10,000 per month plus $20,000 immediately to cover therapy and relocation. Lena dabbed her eyes. I deserve it. I need to heal from what he did to me. I looked at David. He gave me the smallest nod. You're right, Lena, I said gently. You should get exactly what you deserve. Her face lit up until David spoke. To clarify, Your Honor, my client said she deserves it. He didn't say he'd pay it. We'll see you in court. Her expression crumbled. In the elevator afterward, I told David she'd taken the sculpture. He chuckled. That's perfect. The judge is going to love this. The hearing was set for 2 weeks later. Judgment Day. The courtroom was small, quiet, and cold. Judge Harriet Rowe, a woman with the patience of a saint and the stare of a hawk, presided. Lena went first. She was good, too good. Tears, trembling hands, a performance polished to perfection. He was cold, she sobbed. Controlling. I was terrified of him. I was a prisoner in my own home. Finch painted me as a manipulative monster. Your Honor, my client has suffered immensely. She deserves $10,000 a month for her recovery. Judge Rowe nodded solemnly. Thank you. Defense? David stood, calm, controlled, holding a sleek black hard drive. Your Honor, we agree that Miss Lena's story is compelling, he began. Unfortunately, it's also fictional. Objection! Finch barked. Sustained, the judge said. Get to your point. My point, David said, is that during the time she claims she was emotionally devastated, she was quite occupied. He set the hard drive on the table. This contains over 300 hours of legally recorded video-only footage from the home my client solely owns. We've prepared a short compilation. Lena's face turned the color of chalk. "Objection!" Finch shouted. "Violation of privacy!" "It's legal," David countered, "unless she expected privacy on the kitchen counter." The judge sighed. "Fine. Play it." Clear the courtroom. When the footage played, silence filled the room. Lena laughing in lingerie as Dylan lifted her onto the kitchen island, feeding him grapes, eating leftover lasagna on the couch, kissing between bites, running down the stairs, leaping into his arms. 5 minutes of her emotional distress. When it ended, the judge rubbed the bridge of her nose and started laughing. Not politely, genuinely. "Miss Lena," she said, "you testified that you were terrified, broken, and emotionally destroyed. The only distress I see here is yours right now, having been caught lying under oath." Lena stammered. He drove me to it." "Drove you to perjury?" the judge snapped. Finch slumped. "Your Honor, we withdraw our motion." "You'll do more than that," said Judge Rowe. "Motion denied with prejudice. Miss Lena will pay Mr. Ethan's legal fees for this hearing. This was a bad faith filing bang. Gavel down." Lena exploded. "You spied on me! You're a freak!" she screamed as the bailiff escorted her out. Finch muttered furiously, "You didn't tell me there were videos." I walked out of that courtroom lighter than air. 6 weeks later, the divorce was final. Her perjury destroyed her case. We sold the house, but I got 70% of the equity. She got 30, no alimony. The judge ruled she was clearly capable of gainful employment, citing her physical vitality. She also had to pay half my total legal fees. As for the sculpture, Finch tried to claim it as her asset. David agreed immediately. "We insist she keep it." Later, Jenna, who'd grown tired of Dylan, told me he dumped Lena as soon as her money dried up. She moved back in with her parents, broke and humiliated, dragging that ridiculous sculpture into her old bedroom. I like to imagine it sitting across from her bed, a $1,200 monument to a $200,000 mistake. As for me, I bought a condo downtown. It's quiet, peaceful, smells like nothing. I lost a marriage but gained perspective, and sometimes when I think of the judge's laughter echoing through that courtroom, I can't help but smile. Justice doesn't always whisper, it laughs. Honestly, this story is a wild ride of patience, strategy, and poetic justice. It's a perfect example of how staying calm and collecting evidence can completely turn the tables. What I love most is the way it blends humor with real-life lessons, like sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting or fighting, but simply being smart and composed. It's a reminder that life can throw absurd challenges our way, but how we respond is what defines the outcome. Definitely a story that sticks with you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss more stories like this. I'd also love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions in the comments below. Who do you think handled the situation better, and what would you have done in Ethan's shoes? Let's talk.